See, let me explain something after the death of Michael K. Williams. This is very hard to explain in 15 minutes because a lot of y'all that I've met did not grow up with what is known as white people. Now, I believe there's this term that should come out called non-melanated or low melanated humans. The reason why I said that is because the human DNA is love. So now, the unfortunate part is, have I met many non-melanated humans? You got to be very careful because white people will try to play like non-melanated humans, just like there's the term black people that white people made that will try to play like melanated humans. So what does that mean? So first, let's break down the word love. Love is grace, mercy, forgiveness, patience, peace, honesty, discipline, and courage to stand up to oppressors and oppressions. Now, so right there, look at that word love. How many people y'all know really have it? How many people show it on their timeline, like this one? There's very few. Now, love is very strong because love will be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Not afraid to go into things that are risky just to find out what the truth is. Do risky things to find out what the truth is, and then come back publicly and give the people the truth. This is what I definitely do as a melanated human. So what's interesting is that I went through the Bible with an old friend of mine, and there aren't any passages that talk about the rape of children. Now, there's suggestions that people were marrying early and blah 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 blah, but there was like children I'm talking about, 3 years old to like 12 years old. There was no passages like that. Rape of women, yes, but children, no. And the rape of men wasn't common either. But we're past that, and what I mean by that is colonization, pillaging, shows that people were doing that after the Bible. I have not met any non-melanated humans since the 80s. Honestly, the ones I did meet were killed by white people, which I would just call their cousins. So, with that all being said, this is what's crazy. We're not in a time now. This time has been going on for centuries, but it's heightened now because now the one world system is doing something very, very, very deadly, which I called back in August 2019 before the virus even hit. But I saw it coming because I saw the word gentrification that was going on the same planet that y'all call the colonized place called Asia, which is so stupid. The same planet. Grass doesn't change. Grass has no name. It's names that people created. Again, it would be those white people, not the non-melanated humans, the white ones. Now, what's dangerous about white people that y'all better start learning is their 18 faces, schizophrenia. Not the psychology name they created, it's their DNA. Has so many different faces. What do I mean? You'll have some white people that will kill your mother. Hug another white person will come who know that killed your mom, hug you at the funeral. At the funeral home, they give you a discount for your mother to be buried. If you don't believe it, I'll show you what I meant. Just recently, I blocked somebody on the Michael Williams post that I made because they said, you should be careful what you say because people, people could be grieving their family, even though I don't know him. Now, watch what's wrong with that sentence. You don't know him. Shut up. That's the first one. if if what was read that I wrote, I was the only one that showed real love to the brother by making him become an actor because he couldn't dance. That's love. Remember the full definition of love. Then come in and say, well, they are grieving and people who really love him, so that's stating I don't love him. See, they're deadly like that. That's already four faces. That person put out. I just delete and block. A lot of you have to learn to do that. See, the reason why that when they speak, y'all become like little like trained dogs. And I'm gonna say this very openly. White people know this from the children who kind of defy them, but then know at the end of the day through history and colonization, granddaddy and daddy or grandmommy and mommy will just kill you if you don't follow the system. They know that. And ladies and gentlemen, I come from that era where I've seen a lot of non-melanated humans disinherited by their parents and then put on the street, made prostitutes, male or female. Someone put drug in their drink and OD. Does OD sound familiar for Michael? But just going on, this is in the 70s and 80s that I'm talking about. This stuff is still going on. So now, those faces that person made to make the comment, the reason why a lot of y'all will jump like dogs when y'all see them is because everything you've ever learned, even from the alphabet, do an exercise right now. Some of y'all try to say the alphabet without singing it. You'll end up doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You start singing it. That's programming from a child. I don't even really want to touch religion too far, what they did. A lot of you who call yourself melanated or black, you really believe y'all were Egyptians that did what they did in the that they say that did in the Quran and the Bible? If that's the case, really catch it. If white people really wanted to stick us, wouldn't they show us doing incest and polygamy and all that with our faces as actors on those religious movies like the Ten Commandments and all that stuff with Moses and Pharaoh going against each other? That's because it's not us. It's them. it's When I first saw those kind of movies as a kid, I was like, okay, now I know Egypt. They're supposed to be supposedly, but that's the word Egypt. Egypt may not really be a place that exists because, again, the tree, the bird, and everything else that y'all call pigeons. But if I say pigeon, come here, the pigeon's not coming. That's just a name y'all create. Just like land, you create a name for land and then say certain people live there. But since I know through their history that they recorded that they love putting people in different places and then naming that piece of land, it could all be a lie. Most of it is a lie. So think about those movies and things they do. Then they want to say, oh, people who are this color are the original people. But then yet you rarely have them on screen until what? Black exploitation and all that nonsense, or have them like doing stuff that is it's just butler work and all that stuff in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and all that. No, no, you have to wake up to who they are. You wake up to who they are. So with that being said, um, when this body was violated um, young at 7, and then up until about 13, 14, uh, the effects and all that, the mind paid no attention to. But what I was brought to, because I was raped and molested heavily, so I was brought to these places, told it was normal, saunas, bathhouses, and all that, and bookstores and all that, and beaches and nude beaches, and told it was normal, and it looked normal because there was so many people, not this skin color, but what y'all call white skin color. They were all there, and they were mostly adults, so it looked normal to me because that's the area I was in. I went to school in. So I was just following along and just taking notes. Only thing that seemed a little strange is because I didn't see too many people with this skin color there. So as I'm taking notes, I'm looking like, wow, okay, let me switch things up a bit as a person that seems to be out of place. So I started using the effects of the body to chase adults, which is very rare because usually most people who are raped and molested as children, they end up raping and molesting children. Just being very honest. But I ended up in the bear community, and I mention this a lot, the gay bear community, which is mixed of a lot of people who are raped and molested children that chase the older as well. They're older. They like the older. They don't like young. And what's even worse is a lot of them are married with children and they're hiding behind this whole thing. They're into rugby, martial artists, hairy, these kind of people. So as I'm getting older, and that's the thing this body is chasing, I'm doing tests. All the way down to probably, I don't know, not too long ago, where I'm hearing people call gay people who were raped and molested by pedophiles. I'm hearing people call them pedophiles. And I'm showing adults who say they never done that gay act, whether they do a chemical or they hear a nice saying or see a nice face, how they can turn to do a gay act just from that. And then I'm looking at them like, see, now this is crazy. You just turned over for a good voice, good word, good face, and a chemical, one or the other or all the above. But then a child like me who was 7 years old, or some children who were younger, said no to all those curiosities, all those advances, all those flirtations, and were violated, were raped, and were forced. You're not in the same category as them because someone just talked to you, had a pretty face, pretty words, and all that, and all of a sudden now you're trying an act and you're curious. As an adult, these were children that were forced. So that I tell people, anybody watching this that was caught out there by this body at one point as adults, now go back to when I was a child and go back to a whole bunch of children that were raped and forced and go apologize to them who are now confused now and not sure if they're gay or bisexual though. Go apologize to them. If you want to do some work for them, chase after the people that raped them. And unfortunately, for a lot of you military people I met, and a lot of you people who secretly work in law enforcement or work in the courts and all that, you'd have to get at yourselves first because you fell prey just from words and a pretty face. And you'd have to get out the system that you serve because the system you serve is the first pedophiles that are messing up everybody's minds and bodies. Learn this. And the sad thing is, if y'all all who I've met want to talk about you believe in God, believe in faith and Jesus and all that, all them secret bombs you learned to make in the military and those guns you shoot off in law enforcement, reverse it right around to the system. That's who you would be killing. And leave these victims alone. These are all victims. All these confused people y'all see around the world who were raped as children like myself, they're confused. But just remember, as an adult, y'all were adults when y'all met me, over 40, in a word, cute face, and some curiosity got y'all to do that act y'all said y'all would never do. If you're going to kill anyone, kill yourself first. Now, if you really want to kill someone and stay alive, you'd have to kill the people of this system that taught y'all to shoot the guns and make bombs. Let's stop this. That's it. Stop touching victims because you were scared of the oppressors. Hey, and I may sound creative, but this idea did not come from me. This idea actually came from TV, which is rare that I watch it. Back in the 80s, when AIDS first started, and a woman caught it. She was on a very famous, popular talk show. This is when talk shows are a little more real than they are today. Um, and she caught AIDS from her man who cheated on her. She didn't know that he was bisexual. So she went on a rampage of saying, "Oh, remember this face, gorgeous woman. Remember this face." She said, "Because I'm gonna get y'all for cheating on me." And she ended up messing with men and giving them AIDS. And I remember the spokesperson or the announcer at the time, the interviewer saying, "You shouldn't do that, honey." She was like, "Honey, I'm not listening to you." She said, "People shouldn't be cheating on people and giving them diseases." Now, I'm not going that deep with this test. What I'm doing with this test is I'm not doing any acts or uh, influencing the act with adults. Again, not children, with adults that can give them a disease. No, it's just showing them, look, how easy that you got turned out. Turned out means turned over to go do something curious or something that you just said is against God and blah, 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 blah. But then you have no courage to stand up for children like myself at 7 years old who were raped by pedophiles, who are in the system that you work for, that you did the military for, that you do police enforcement for, that you get paid for. You want to get all violent with people who are victims? Go get violent with the real oppressor, but that's the one who pays your check. That's the one who gives you the benefits. If you really want to praise God, you should be getting at them, not at the victims. But y'all afraid. So stop calling on God and calling the devil for real, because that's all y'all serving. See, so what they doing now is what we call cleanup. A lot of y'all did the dumbest things trying to align with them. See, there's a difference. I'm friends with some of them. I don't align with them. Like, and any friend of mine who's non-melanated or white will tell y'all I will argue with them to the floor. I have no fear with them when they say stuff that's just really stupid. For example, they have their little psychology where they say to be sensitive to people's deaths and emotions and all that. And then on in February, they quickly show you movies and TV shows and documentaries where they're slaughtering people that look like this and lynching their children and everything else. raping their children like it's Christmas, Thanksgiving. They're gonna show you all these shows where they murder Indians and all that other stuff. Come on, y'all. Where's the sensitivity then? They love to just, they call it devil's advocate, which is what it is. And if y'all read the Bible correctly and draw it correctly, their actions only represent that of what is known as a demon or a devil. So there's no fear for them, zero. But I tell y'all, if you want a remedy, it's going to be a difficult one because y'all notice they stopped travel. A lot of y'all got vaccinated, but if you notice when you travel, there's really not that much work. So now you just vaccinated. You just have another chip in you, and that's it. What are you gonna do with it? Not much you're gonna do with it. So it's even hard for us at this point to even meet up and talk as non-melanated humans and melanated humans to talk about our cousins who are black and white and all the other race names that were created by colonization that really shouldn't exist. It's going to be very hard because it's just hard enough to get a lot of y'all out of the mind state of thinking you have communities. You don't have communities when the person that owns the land, which is impossible really to own land because a tornado can wipe out the land. But when y'all believe someone owns the land and y'all paying into that person that has the same skin color, that means you're only following that skin color. That skin color has become your God. No matter what y'all pray to in the dark, it's become your God. And if you vote, then you're indoctrinated into them as their God. If you vote, you're indoctrinated into them as your God. If you vote, you're indoctrinated into them as your God. I don't care if you're Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, atheist, whatever. You have called them your God when you have voted for them, and they told you we're only the lesser of two evils. Evils, nothing good. This is just a short message about them. What do we have to do, us who are non-melanated and melanated humans? We got to first find a way to gather up, or at least support the people who are the leaders of talking the truth, like me. I can't name too many others, but a lot of y'all have to get out of this. Well, we have to adopt their way of speaking. That's all you've been speaking so far. Now you're gonna go into 5, 6, 7 syllable words and speak words that kids don't understand and people from the quote unquote hood don't understand. So then you lost it and you back put your power into them, and that's it. And a lot of y'all who followed Dr. Sebi after he was murdered, I seen you switch up. I seen y'all switch up to that kind of thing. I get it. It's not anything new, especially not for me who's come from a white neighborhood. Again, there was only very few non-melanated humans when I was growing up, but in a white neighborhood, those little highfalutin words that aren't necessary, I've seen a lot of people black go into that route. It doesn't mean anything. All you do is losing your people more. All you're doing is killing them off more, killing them off mentally, and then slowly physically when they try to go that way. That's just a short message, y'all. You got any questions, hit me up. But the remedies are all on this timeline. Go through the timeline with a pen and paper or computer or whatever and make notes. But it's all in the timeline. I really have nothing else to say about it because the remedies are there. If you need more advice, hit me up. If you try to be black or white or any other race name, delete and blocking you. I'm not don't have any time for it. Love the human DNA.